Some experiments sound so disturbing, so unreal, that most people assume they belong in horror movies or conspiracy forums. But the truth is far darker. These experiments were real. They were funded, approved, and carried out by scientists, doctors, and governments, often in the name of progress. What makes them terrifying isn't just what happened, but how easily it was justified. Tonight, we're exploring real experiments that sound fake. Human experiments and dark science that actually happened. In 1971, a group of healthy young men volunteered for what they believed was a simple psychological study. They were randomly assigned roles, guards or prisoners, and placed inside a mock prison in a university basement. Within days, the situation collapsed. Guards became abusive, enforcing punishment for minor disobedience. Prisoners became anxious, depressed, and emotionally unstable. Some broke down completely, begging to leave. The experiment was meant to last 2 weeks. It ended after just 6 days. What shocked researchers wasn't the violence, it was how quickly ordinary people accepted cruelty. When power was placed in their hands, and how fast empathy disappeared. Then there was a medical study that lasted for decades. Hundreds of men were diagnosed with a serious disease and told they were receiving treatment. In reality, they were being observed, not cured. Even after effective treatment became available, it was intentionally withheld. Families were never informed, wives were infected, children were born with the disease. People died slow, preventable deaths. The study continued because ending it would mean admitting the truth. It wasn't ignorance, it was a deliberate decision to sacrifice lives for data, while pretending compassion still existed. During the Cold War, governments became obsessed with the idea of mind control. Intelligence agencies secretly tested whether the human mind could be manipulated, rewritten, or erased. Subjects were dosed with powerful drugs without consent. Some were prisoners. Others were ordinary citizens who never knew they were part of an experiment. Hallucinations, paranoia, memory loss, and emotional collapse followed. Some people never fully recovered, and a few vanished from records entirely. Many documents were later destroyed, leaving behind fragments of evidence and decades of unanswered questions. Other experiments pushed the limits of the human body itself. Researchers exposed subjects to extreme cold, forcing them into freezing water, or sub-zero environments to observe how long the body could survive. Heart rates slowed, muscles failed, consciousness faded, some subjects never survived. Every moment was documented, transforming human suffering into scientific measurements, written down as numbers on a page. Even classrooms became laboratories. In one school experiment, students were taught strict discipline and obedience to demonstrate how authoritarian systems form. Special rules were introduced, dissent was discouraged. Within days, students began enforcing the rules on each other, reporting classmates and excluding anyone who questioned the system. What started as a lesson quickly became unsettling, revealing how easily people trade freedom for belonging and approval. Sensory deprivation studies revealed something equally disturbing. Volunteers were isolated from sound, light, and physical contact. At first, they felt calm, then time began to stretch. Within hours, hallucinations appeared, some heard voices, others saw shapes and faces in the darkness. Anxiety and fear intensified. Several participants begged to be released early. The brain, it turned out, doesn't need the outside world to break. It can do that on its own. Perhaps the most disturbing experiments involved children. Some were separated from siblings at birth, placed into different families, and observed for years without knowing the truth. Researchers tracked personality, intelligence, and emotional development. When the experiment was finally exposed decades later, many participants struggled with identity, trust, and trauma. Lives had been shaped by choices they never agreed to, guided by people they never knew. What connects all these experiments isn't just cruelty, it's justification. Each one was defended as necessary. Each was approved by institutions meant to protect people. These experiments didn't happen in secret basements run by villains. They happened in universities, hospitals, and government programs, led by professionals who believed the end goal mattered more than individual lives. And that's what makes them terrifying. because science hasn't stopped pushing boundaries. Technology hasn't slowed down. The same question still exists today. How far is too far? When does curiosity become cruelty, and who decides which lives are acceptable losses when progress demands a price? If this video made you uncomfortable, that's the point. History isn't just about discoveries, it's about the cost of achieving them. And sometimes, the most disturbing stories aren't fiction, they're real experiments that actually happened. If this video made you question what you thought was possible, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more content. Exploring dark science, human behavior, and the hidden stories history tried to forget.